Welcome, everyone. So, in our last lesson together in class, we talked about deductive reasoning, or sorry, no, we talked about inductive reasoning. Today, we're going to talk about deductive reasoning, and they're a little bit different, okay? Whereas inductive reasoning was about looking at patterns and making predictions, all right? Deductive reasoning is using known facts to reach a logical conclusion. All right. So if you look at the beginning of deductive reasoning, it looks like detective. All right. That's what detectives are doing. They're using their deductive reasoning skills. They always talk about Sherlock Holmes and his deductive reasoning. He looks at the facts of the case, right, and can figure them out and realize there's only one logical conclusion, for who could have committed the crime. So deductive reasoning is all about known facts. And because of that, today is going to seem a little duh. It's going to seem a little obvious, but we still have to go over it, okay? So the first thing about deductive reasoning that we're going to learn is we're going to learn the law of detachment, all right? Now, this definition might not make sense, but when you go over an example, I promise it'll make sense. So the law of detachment says if a conditional is true, like a conditional statement, okay, like we learned the first day. If a conditional is true and its hypothesis is true, then the conclusion is true. Okay, so what this means, all right, is that if you have your conditional statement and you know the conditional statement is true, and then the first part of the conditional statement happens, that means you then can deduce that the second part will happen. So example 1 says, if Alicia scores 85 or greater on her test, she will earn an A as her final grade. Alicia scores 89 on her test. What can you logically deduce? Well, hopefully you're saying it to me, or maybe you're already writing it down, but if she scores 85 or greater, she'll get an A, all right? Well, she scored an 89. So we can conclude that she earned an A. All right? Simple as that. She did get an 85 or greater, so then she earned an A. That's really all the law of detachment is saying, all right? The conditional is true, so the first part of the conditional happens, right? This is the hypothesis. She scores 85 or greater on her test, so therefore the conclusion, she will earn an A as her final grade, must be true. Okay, I mean, that one's pretty easy, I hope, the law of detachment. The second one is the law of syllogism, all right? And the law of syllogism states that given two conditionals, I guess two or more, we'll say, given two or more true conditionals, I'm going to put this in layman's terms, right? You can link them together using shared hypotheses and conclusions. So again, the definition I feel like makes it seem more complicated than it is. all right? Given two or more conditionals, true conditionals, you can link them together using shared hypotheses and conclusions. So all that's saying is kind of making leaps in logic, all right? If you look at example 2, okay, example 2 says, considering the following statements, right? It is sunny. If it is sunny, then we will go to the park, okay? So there's your first conditional, right? That's conditional number 1. Conditional number 2 says, if we go to the park, then we will play on the swings, all right? That's conditional statement number 2. All right, so what you see is that they share a statement, all right? The conditional statements number 1's conclusion says we will go to the park. Conditional statement number 2's hypothesis says we go to the park. All right, so you can link these together. So given these statements, what can you conclude? All right, we can conclude that if it is sunny, comma, so what we're going to do is we're going to skip from conditional statement number 1 all the way to conditional statement number 2, right? Because we're going from sunny to park, right? Park is the connector to swings. All right, so we're skipping the middleman. We're going straight from sunny to swings. That's what the law of detachment is saying. So if it is sunny, then we will play on the swings. So basically, you're just writing a new conditional statement that combines your old conditional statements. If it's sunny, we'll play on the swings because you're connecting through going to the park, all right? Example 3, this will be our last one. These are short notes for today. What conditional statement can you make using the law of syllogism in the statements below? Okay, so here we have 3, all right? We have 3 conditional statements. So the first one says, if Anna waters her garden, then the plants will grow, all right? That's the conclusion of the first statement. The second one says, if the plants grow, right? See how we're connecting those there with the same thing, all right? The second one says, then she can pick her vegetables, all right? That's the conclusion. The hypotheses of the third one, if she picks her vegetables, all right? Again, we're making a connection there. So here we're making 2 connections. Then she can put tomatoes on her sandwich, all right? So what is the chain that we're making here, all right? Well, we're going from watering her garden to plants growing, all right, to picking vegetables, all right, to putting tomatoes on her sandwich. So we've got 4 statements that are being linked together and they are causing, one another. So therefore we can write a new conditional statement that jumps straight from the first to the last. If Anna waters her garden, then she can put tomatoes on her sandwich. All right. So that's all the law of syllogism says. So that, like I said before about Sherlock Holmes, right? They're kind of making steps in logic. If this must be true, then this must be true, then this must be true, then this must be true. All right. A famous kind of example of the law of syllogism is this video here. All right. And this video is on.
Then he'll want to look in the mirror.
If you give a mouse a cookie, all right, if you want to watch this video, you can click on it, but what it goes over is, a bunch of steps. So I'll play the beginning here.
If you give a
If you
mouse
give
a
a mouse a
cookie,
cookie,
he's going
he's
to
going to
ask
ask for a glass of milk.
When you give
When
him
you
the
give
milk,
him the milk,
he'll
he'll
probably
probably
ask you for a straw. When he's
When he's
finished,
finished,
he'll ask
he'll
for a
ask for a
napkin.
napkin.
Then he'll want
Then
to
he'll
look in
want
the
to look
mirror
in the
to
mirror to make sure
he
he
doesn't
doesn't have.
So basically, what's going on is if you give a mouse a cookie, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, and it creates a chain reaction. All right. So that's going to be important for your practice. So go ahead and start your practice. Okay. If you have any questions, we can always go over them the next time you're in class. All right. Other than that, get your practice done. It's not going to be like the last ones. This practice is due, tonight. So get that done. If you have any questions tomorrow, let me know and have a great day.